How you doing? It's John again. I've asked the Lord to try to help me convey this. I'm only sure of one thing that needs to be spoken, and there's some folks out there that need to hear it. I have no special qualification other than to be a son of God that I would have the ability to make this testimony or to speak this to you. For those of you who don't believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord, I don't offer any special mojo that would attempt to try to change your mind about it. All I can do is tell you what I believe, and all I can do is testify of things that have helped me. Many Christians I run into have a greater estimate of where they are with God than where they really are. It's not designed to cause you to doubt that you're a Christian. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the nuts and bolts of your faith. I've heard myself speak words, and I suppose like any good word being a double-edged sword, you're supposed to run it up against your chest first to see if it leaves a mark, so that when you speak it, you can pretty much get an idea of how people are going to react. And what that does is help you grow, and hopefully, if they have ears to hear, it helps them grow. There's a lot of if, and buts I hear regarding God's blessings and peace and grace that He gives His people and the lost people. And I hear so many reasons why, when God says something clearly in the gospel, that it doesn't apply to that person or that situation, or there's lots of reasons. And while I know it's a little bit of a contextual stretch, I think the let your yeas be yeas and your nays be nays, or let your yes be yes and your no be no, that's offered in Scripture, I think it applies. I think we need to apply it to a greater area of our faith, when we look at our faith. So, in order to get to a yes or no situation, the first thing you have to decide is if you plan on being honest. So the first question is, do you really plan on being honest? Because, if you're honest about what you accept or don't accept, or believe or don't believe, or have faith in or don't have faith in, if you're honest, then you can come to a accurate definition of what your position is, and then based on a decision you make, you can take action to go one way or the other to get, either to overcome the no or to reinforce the yes. But it requires honesty. And a lot of times when you start playing around devils and demons, and you start goofing around with personalities, and you start playing with pride, and you'll find that they dance a lot, but they won't come out with a yes or no. So, under the predication that you're going to be honest with yourself. Because if you're not, this exercise will really be silliness on your part. I'm going to try to introduce you to something that's blessed me, something I go back to when I have a need for more clarity of exactly where I stand on a certain topic or a given biblical principle. And I just, I'm kind of a simple guy, so I just kind of call it the yes or no drill. One of my most favorite books in the Gospels to apply the yes or no drill is in the book of John. And you can figure out a lot of stuff of where you're at in Christianity or looking at Christianity or what your take on Christianity is by simply asking yourself yes or no to some of the basic stuff that's in the book of John. I'm going to run through a little demonstration on how you can do that, and then I'm going to just kind of walk it through the scripture, and you can decide if it's worth your time or not. I know it's worth my time to speak it. It's been in my heart. And the word is a double-edged sword. I've already dragged this across my chest. It's already blessed me. I pray that it blesses you. That's my testimony. My testimony is I pray that this blesses you. So, we're going to be honest with ourselves, and we're going to answer these things yes or no. We're not going to let any gray. We're going to let our yeses be yeses and our nos be no. And we're not going to let any evil jump in by our overqualifications and opinions on the topics. So I'm going to start in John 1, verse 1. It's our first yes or no question. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Do you believe that? Yes or no? I want you to really consider these answers, because later on as we go through the gospel, I'm going to build on principles based on the yes answers for the most part. And in order to have your faith built precept upon precept, principle on principle, word on word, you're going to have a definitive answer. And your definitive answer needs to be honest and true. You need to consider it before you continue. So there is no such thing as an insignificant yes or no question. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Do you believe that in the beginning was the Word? I don't want you to get all crazy with definitions now. You just stay with the yes or no. Do you believe that in the beginning was the Word? Yes or no? And do you believe that the Word was with God? Yes or no? And do you believe that the Word was God? Yes or no? Now, people who aren't Christians, of course, their answer is going to be no. And that's fine. Because that's going to lead them to a decision they have to make. A decision that a lot of Christians, in fact, anyone who calls himself a Christian and is honest about it, has already made that decision based on his yes or no to that. But for you Christians, in the beginning was the Word. Yes or no? And the Word was with God. Yes or no? And the Word was God. Yes or no? The same was in the beginning with God. Well, I personally answer yes to that question.